Hello and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and want to see more. Coming up, RFL and Super League ratify promotions and relegations, and NARL clubs about to go into battle. So, ladies and gentlemen, after speculating that this event was going to happen a few weeks ago, we have got confirmation on social media that the Cleveland Rugby League team will be playing host to the Atlanta Rhinos. It's going to happen a week Saturday, the 31st of July 2021, and the kickoff is 5 PM. As far as we're aware, it's going to be streamed on the social media or Twitch or somewhere, but the confirmation of that will be coming out soon. It will be a good way to see where both teams are at, as Atlanta Rhinos are predominantly their team for the last 4 to 7 years, with players playing in the USARL through that period. Cleveland are coming into it, but are working hard as they're reviewing all videos, not giving us videos to view about their training regimes. Follow them on their YouTube page on Cleveland Rugby League. Now, I was asked about predictions for this game on social media when we first found out. My overall opinion is that if it came down to a competitive game, a need to win game, that it would be Atlanta. But as this is a friendly, scores do not matter. It's a great gauge to see which teams are where, and to gauge what they need to improve. Attack, basics, defense, positioning, skill levels. Also, it would be a tune-up match for the Cleveland side. I know Atlanta have played a game recently against the Black Foxes, which had multiple different bits of fallout, as you might have seen on social media, but this would be Cleveland's first game against a potential opponent, an opponent in the North American Rugby League. I do hope that there's more coming out through this, as more games means better experience for all the players involved, and it's the only real way to learn how to play the game properly. Atlanta, yes, they have the experience, but they're going into an unknown, playing an unknown team for the first time in quite some time, as previous teams have been teams from their league. Yes, they've been adding teams to the league, and some teams have been falling out, but this is, again, their potential opponent. It's great that Atlanta are making the trip up. It does help Cleveland massively, and I do hope that there's enough buzz created over the next week so that they can get people in the doors at Baxter Avenue, the sports stadium there. If you're in the area, get down and follow. Don't matter which team you watch, go learn rugby league. What have you done for rugby league at this time? Anyway, that's my 2 penneth on the thoughts on that friendly game, as it's a fantastic event that's going to happen, and it leads up to the 2022 North American League Eastern Conference starting. So now on to a story that's coming out from Super League regarding promotions and relegations to and from the Super League, as they're still set to go ahead for the end of the season. There have been some conjecture of whether the goals posts will once again be moved, including an erroneous report by the BBC on their live Challenge Cup final coverage that relegation will not take place this year. But officials at the RFL and Super League have confirmed to us that there has been no formal discussions about removing relegation. The RFL spokesman said there are no change, it's still 1 up and 1 down. There has been acknowledgement from the Super League and an emphasis from us that championship clubs can't be blamed for the impact of COVID and the promotion can't be affected. While there was no relegation for the Super League in 2020, that was largely as a result of a combination of Toronto's withdrawal and the fact that no proper championship season took place due to COVID. This season is a different story, with a full quota of 12 teams able to compete in the top flight and a full championship competition taking place, currently led by Toulouse and Featherstone, who are hot favourites to meet in the grand final for promotion at the end of the year. Leeds were elevated to the Super League in the winter to fill the gap left by Toronto, though were dealt a tough hand with reduced central funding. Despite their status as relegation favourites, having lost all their games so far, owner Derek Beaumont has maintained his support for relegation and promotion to stay in place, even if it comes to their detriment. In a statement through the club website on NARL.co.uk, he said, as well as commenting on their additions as they're coming in with 2 new NRL players, there will be more additions as we achieve our goals, and we are recruiting for next year based on that we are in the Super League. We will not place all our hopes on relegation being removed. I do not support that at the expense of promotion, and even if that was the case, which it isn't, I would still invest and do everything possible to finish above 12 spots. A spate of postponements in Super League due to COVID has raised the issue of relegation potentially being unfair, and at least a handful of clubs have known to have sound out about the issue. And though no discussions have held formally, a Super League sportsman confirmed that while nothing is on the table regarding the issue, nothing is off the table either. Which is a bit weird, to be fair. If they're not thinking about it, but also still thinking about it, it's a bit of a straddling the fence sort of situation. Now, an expansion to 13 teams to accommodate the promoted championship side, if relegation is pulled, is thought to be unlikely due to various logistical issues around the season structure, as well as an impact on the odd-numbered teams would have on things like the Magic Weekend. The same issues were discussed last year when consideration was not given to replacing Toronto in the Super League and instead running the 2021 season with 11 teams. So that's what the merry-go-round is going on as we're coming through the halfway stage of the Super League season. There are some weird ideas, but it should be one up, one down. Well, at this stage, with future thoughts of one up, one down, with a £1 million playoff game for promotion and relegation at a stadium of neutral value, or a 2-game series. But that would seem unlikely as well, but as that would cause too much upheavals with aggregate scores and so on and so forth. But promotion and relegation should be in place. It's a tier system for a reason, it's a pyramid system for a reason, and the best do survive in the Super League because they are the best. And the better teams from the Championship, if they're structured correctly, will survive in the Super League at the detriment of one of the established few, which in my thoughts, the bottom 3 are Leigh, Salford and Wakefield. We'll have to see where Castleford stagnate next season with the change of coaching, a change of few players, but that's my prejudices about the stadium condition at this time. It is somewhere that does a fantastic atmosphere and brings in the fans. But if you're at the top tier table for a rugby league team, you'd be looking at anything to move on. I still think that Wakefield and Castleford should move into a stadia that is just bigger than both of their two fan bases, so that when they play against each other they get an even split, but enough to fill the stadium. But a ground share or things like that sort of situation, as it's a rugby hotbed around there, and they could do a community, do two different things in the community around the area. There's only a certain amount of things that they can do with Bellevue, even though that they are redeveloping it. But Castleford's Menderhall Stadium, there's not much that they can do with that, unfortunately. It would cost an absolute fortune to redevelop. There should be set standards on where clubs are supposed to play in the top tier, like the move into the Halliwell Jones Stadium for Warrington, the Totally Wicked Stadium for St Helens, even the AJ Bell for Salford, which is still up in the air. But we're going away from the actual story. As well, if they do away with relegation, they need to start incorporating things like minimum standards, or even go to licensing. Do that for 4 years and have a relegation and promotion. Or if people don't meet the standards, stop over promising and under delivering, then they lose the license. It's what needs to happen to make the game more viable for fan experience, TV and commercial. Because if you're looking at a TV screen, I do have one problem with this being on Salt and the AJ Bell as well. If you're looking down at a stadium and you're seeing the old metal line girder stanchions to hold up the roof, and then no seating over there, or wooden seating over there in some cases, then it's not aesthetically pleasing. But on the flip side, like I said about the AJ Bell, if you're looking over from the biggest stand in the actual stadium, and the seats across there have got next to nobody in it, then you're not showing a product anyhow. So AJ Bell should have the cameras looking at the big main stand. Create the impression that more people are going, and maybe more people will go, because look, people are going. That's my thoughts on the stadia, and I'll stop that right there. That's for the clubs to decide and the RFL, but that's my 2 pence on it. Minimum standards. But as we know, no relegation and promotion stops at this point. So that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember, like, subscribe and share this video worldwide. Without you, rugby league cannot grow. What have you done for rugby league this year, today, this week, this month? Share this video. Get the word out. I want to thank you once more for watching the video, and I'll say all the best, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video.